Many of you have probably heard about the Danish word hygge. If you look up #hygge on Instagram, you get more than 7 million pictures of people mainly drinking tea, being cozy by a fireplace, or those cute little cottages covered in snow.
And by the way, those pictures are mostly taken in Norway. We don't really get that much snow here in Denmark.
As someone who grew up in Denmark and speaks Danish, I noticed that there are a lot of misconceptions about what hygge actually means.
And a lot of people do tend to exaggerate slightly when it comes to the meaning of the word hygge.
I've heard people saying that hygge is this Danish philosophy. I've heard people saying that hygge is something you do only during winter.
So in this video, I will tell you what hygge actually means. When do we use the word hygge in the Danish language? And I will be talking from the perspective of someone who grew up in Denmark. I'm actually in Denmark right now. I'm at my parents' house. So yeah, let's get into it. What does hygge actually mean?
Let's start by looking at the definition of hygge you get when you type it on Google. So according to Oxford Language Dictionary, hygge means a quality of coziness and comfortable conviviality that engenders a feeling of contentment or well-being.
It's also often used as an adjective meaning cozy or comfortable. That is actually pretty accurate, I would say.
However, for me personally, the best translation of word hygge is simply having quality time or having good time. And having quality time doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be cozy. Lunch with a friend and taking a swim during summer is totally hygge. Enjoying a good food alone, it's also hygge.
There are also a lot of other sources on the internet that I found out while making research for this video, and people are coming up with all sort of theories that hygge is something invented in Denmark. Well, it's a Danish word. Actually, fun fact, it's also a word used in Norway, but apparently they don't use it as commonly as we use it here in Denmark. It is true that word hygge is used a lot in Danish.
So misconception number 1. Hygge is something you mostly do during winter to stay cozy. You can do hygge all year long. Grabbing drink with friends during summer is hygge. Going for a walk or to the beach is also hygge.
People might think that it's something connected to winter, well, because it's cold most of the time in Denmark. I mean, the winter is really long and the summer is very short, but hygge is definitely something you can do during summer. You do a lot of hygge in the summer as well, in the garden.
Misconception number 2. Hygge is a Danish philosophy and lifestyle, and in general, something invented in Denmark.
The thing is that in the Danish language, hygge is a very commonly used word. I've never thought about it as being this like whole concept or a whole mentality, Danish way of living, which is what people say online. Sure, I mean, you can sort of market it like that, and it is a very good idea to do it. Honestly, they did a freaking great job. I remember the very first time when I heard about it, that someone actually wrote a whole book about it. I was like, what the F?
Mike Wiking, who is behind the little book of hygge, which pretty much started the whole hygge trend, did hell of a good job when it comes to marketing. I never considered hygge a concept or a lifestyle, but the way he put it together and marketed it definitely does make sense. In one of the interviews, Mike himself described hygge as the art of creating nice atmosphere. And that is something that really resonated with me, because in the Danish culture, you really do value making effort to consciously create nice atmosphere and value the small things in life, really, like hanging out with friends or allowing yourself to have and enjoy that piece of cake.
The way I use hygge when I speak Danish is, for example, let's say I am sitting and chatting with a friend, we met up for coffee, my mom is calling me asking what we're doing. Well, no, okay, that's a bad example because I would speak Polish to my mom. Someone is calling me and asking me what we're doing, and I can say vi hygger sig, which means we are having hygge. In English, I would probably answer, we're chilling. So hygge is commonly used in these situations when you're just, let's say, sitting with a friend or sitting alone and you're chatting, you're watching something, you're eating candy. That's very hygge for me, at least. And you're sort of having good time, you're enjoying yourself, you're chilling. So you can use the word hygge to describe an activity, but you can also use it to describe atmosphere. Let's say you're, for example, visiting a friend for the very first time, you're seeing their house for the first time, and you want to say that it's really nice, it looks pretty, you want to give a compliment, and you can say, nej, hvor er der hyggeligt her. Hygge is also a word we often use when we're saying goodbye. So let's say I'm saying goodbye to a friend that I just met up with. A very normal thing to say would be, det var hyggeligt at se dig. In English, direct translation would be simply, it was good seeing you. In general, I do think that it is a little bit of a misconception and a little bit of an exaggeration to say that hygge is a concept invented by Danes. Essentially, what hygge means is just having quality time, having good time, chilling, relaxing. And that's not really something that only Danes do. Everyone does it really, but not everyone is equally good as Danes to value it. I think what makes hygge special in Denmark is the fact that Danes are really good at valuing the importance of quality time, of taking time off for yourself. In Denmark, the culture is definitely not as focused on work and productivity as it is, for example, in the US. In Denmark, we do take more holidays. We don't necessarily work as long as some other people do in other parts of the world. In Denmark, people really value the importance of free time, and work and productivity and money and achieving whatever it is you want to achieve is not necessary as important, or maybe that's a wrong thing to say. It's equally important. It can be equally important to having a good time and relaxing. However, I do think that it would be wrong of me to make this video and not mention the fact that there are obviously reasons behind the fact that having quality time, valuing quality time is so important in the Danish society. And those reasons are, for example, the fact that Denmark is a very small and wealthy country where the government is stable, where people really trust the government, where the social security is great. In Denmark, people know that if they lose their job or if they get sick, someone is gonna take care of them, meaning government. Government is gonna take care of them. And that's because we pay very high taxes in Denmark. Your income tax, if you're an educated person, let's say you're a lawyer or a doctor, or you work in business, can be even 60%. That means that in Denmark society, we all pay for having a country, for having a society where people will feel comfortable and secure. And I think that's also a big reason why Danes can allow themselves to value hygge as much as they do. You might have heard that Denmark is one of the countries that always ranks really high when it comes to the level of happiness. Actually, Denmark won the title at least a couple of times. I think right now Finland is the happiest country. But in general, the happiest countries are often the Nordic countries. And I honestly think that the main reason why those countries always win is that life here is comfortable. Life here is secure. You're not worried for your basic needs. You know you're gonna have food on the table. You know your kids can go to school and get decent education because we all pay taxes for that. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that people living here are the happiest people on earth. That's just my personal opinion. I know people can hate on me for saying that, but that's honestly my opinion. In Denmark and in other Scandinavian countries, the suicide rate is pretty high. The number of people suffering from depression is also quite high. So there are also a lot of other factors that those rankings are not really taking into consideration. And the fact that it's like really cold and dark here. I'm looking out of the window because it is really cold and dark today. And that really affects your mood. People definitely suffer from seasonal depression here, like all the time. That's why Danes are so freaking happy when the sun comes out. Like when the sun comes out, come to Copenhagen when the sun comes out. Like people are just going nuts because we just don't get that much sun here. Okay, I think to continue this video, we should actually talk to a hygge expert because I do have one right here. As you guys know, I'm not originally Danish. I grew up here, but I'm not Danish, right? But This little one right here is actually born and raised in Denmark, so I would definitely call him a hygge expert. Basically, hygge is what he does all day long, all day, every day, pretty much, right? Let me know in the comments if you learned something new from this video, if you were one of these people that sort of misunderstood hygge, and if there are any Danish people watching me or Norwegian people, please let me know in the comments if your idea of what hygge actually is different than mine. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel, and I hopefully see you soon. Bye.